I thought I'd give you a peek into what a typical workday looks like for a full-time influencer who is living, laughing, and loving her way through life. Just kidding, it looks a little bit more like this. Okay, seriously, I am going to show you what a typical workday really looks like, but first I wanted to tell you a little bit more about me and what my job really is. Hi, I'm Keiko Lynn, and I have been a full-time lifestyle blogger for the past 12 years. I became known for documenting my daily outfits and my makeup looks alongside personal essays, and I really was one of those lucky few who just kind of fell into this job before we even knew it was a viable career, after many years of it being my hobby and modest side hustle. So I guess you could say I grew up on the web. Now, because I was an early adopter and I have evolved with the many job titles, I've often been met with quizzical looks from people who either just don't get what it is that I do, or they completely dismiss it and don't take it seriously because they don't see how much work goes into it. And even now that it's a more popular career, I feel like it's often deduced to professional selfie taker and taker of free things. And don't get me wrong, I do love free things, but it is more than that. In fact, I once had someone say, "So you're a full-time narcissist?" The truth is, I am a wearer of many hats. I am a photographer, a videographer, a model, a director, a makeup artist, a writer, a hairstylist, costume and set designer, and social media marketing pro. I am a one-stop production and advertising team. In my many years of working in this field, I have learned what it takes to have a successful career on the web, and I'm looking forward to sharing some of those tips with you in future videos within this web series. And because I wear so many hats, this can apply to any web creator. Honestly, much of my job is just like any other. I'm taking meetings, writing emails, signing contracts, working on my computer all day, whether I'm writing or editing photos and videos. But there's also a lot of fun and creative stuff, and that's what I'm gonna show you because it's a lot more fun to share. So I'm gonna take you behind the scenes of a typical shoot day, and spoiler alert, it's a little bit more involved than taking a selfie. If I'm going for a stylized shoot, I sometimes start with a mood board or even a single source of inspiration. That helps me to set the mood of the whole shoot, from tones to backdrops and overall style. And from there, I'll select outfits and hair and makeup. Sometimes I scout locations. I keep a Google map of pinned locations with descriptions whenever I find something with potential. But especially during the pandemic, I've been shooting most of my content at home. Depending on what I'm going for, I either use my own home decor as a setting, or I put together actual sets just for the shoot. Those can be anything from a simple ready-made backdrop to a full-blown set design. But today, I'm just keeping it simple for a retro theme shoot. So I'm shooting 2 looks today. Gotta steam my looks. I highly recommend a stand-up full-size steamer for this. Makes life so much easier. This is great for backdrops too. On shoot days, I try to shoot as many different shots as possible because I like to batch out my work, which I'll get into in a future episode. So today I am going to be shooting at least a couple of different looks, but I'm gonna shoot it different ways. I'm getting behind the scenes, I'm getting some beauty videos, beauty stills, lifestyle and fashion, so that I can edit them in all different ways and repurpose them throughout different content. It's also called content bundles. There's a stain on the curtain and the Virgo in me really wants to switch out the curtains, and the Aries and Bobby wants to leave it alone and thinks I'm the only one who's gonna notice it. But I'm gonna have to Photoshop it out. That's the problem. It's like you either fix the problem now or you have to fix it in every single photo and video later, you know? I know you're listening to me. You hear me. You're just trying to pretend like you don't hear me. Just Just get me the stapler and I will hang it myself. I got in my way. One of the things that I like about wigs and hair pieces is I can do quick changes and have like a whole new style. But today I, for some reason, decided to make my life a little bit more difficult and actually do my hair. So it's gonna take me a little bit. But my second look, I'm definitely using a hairpiece. So now that I have the background set up, I've got my hair and makeup done, I'm all dressed, I'm going to start my self-portrait. So I have my camera on a small tripod. It's gonna go slightly out of frame, but I will show you how I do that remotely. So I can use my phone as a remote. I also have a remote. Today I'm gonna use my phone as a remote because I can see what I'm doing in real time. So connect to my camera, and it gives me a preview of what I'm seeing, which so this way I can see what needs to be fixed, and I can adjust everything remotely, which is pretty cool. Self-portraits are always going to take a little bit more time because it's a lot more trial and error, but I actually find it very gratifying, and it's more comfortable not having to do it with somebody watching you behind the camera, which right now I feel like you're watching me, so maybe I'll shut this off for the rest of it. I think I'm going to do the rest of this on my own. I'm going to shoot some photos and videos, and then I'll see you when I change. I hope you enjoyed that peek behind the scenes of a typical shoot day with a blogger, a little bit more than a selfie. A typical shoot day requires a lot of work, from finding the location, making a mood board, setting the scene with props and backdrops. It's a lot of steaming, picking out outfits, doing hair and makeup changes, and then of course, shooting the photos and videos themselves. Now you may have noticed that I didn't say editing those photos and videos, and that's because I saved that for an entirely different day. And I will get into why that is in the next episode, which is about working smarter, not harder. So make sure you check back for that, subscribe below, and until then, bye-bye.